Can police legally lie to you in California? If you think the answer is no, you are exactly the person this video is meant for. Because right now, somewhere in California, a driver is sitting in a traffic stop or interview hearing this line. We already have your fingerprints. Your friend already told us everything. We have you on camera. And the truth is, in many situations, those statements are not guaranteed to be true. Let that sink in before you decide what to say next time you are pulled over. First, here is what most people get wrong. Police officers are not always required to reveal the full truth during an investigation. Courts in the United States have generally allowed certain forms of strategic deception during questioning, especially in pre-arrest situations. That means an officer may imply they have evidence when they do not. They may suggest a witness has spoken when no witness has. They may say they already know what happened when they are still gathering information. But here is the key point. There are limits. Officers cannot fabricate physical evidence and use it in court as real evidence. They cannot violate your constitutional rights. They cannot force confessions. But during questioning, the conversation can be more strategic than most people realize. Now let me show you how this plays out in real life. Imagine a routine traffic stop in California. You are pulled over at night. The officer approaches and asks where you are coming from. You answer normally. Then the tone shifts. The officer says something like, "We saw you swerving back there." Most people immediately start talking more. They explain their entire drive. They mention stops. They mention distractions. They start trying to prove innocence through explanation. This is where things can go wrong. Not because you did something illegal, but because now there is more information on record than necessary. And in legal situations, extra information can create confusion later. Now let's go deeper. One of the most common techniques used in questioning is what experts call false certainty statements. These are statements that sound like facts but are not always verified in the moment. For example, "We already have video footage. Your friend already admitted everything. We matched your description." When people hear this, their brain reacts as if it is already proven. Stress increases, and they start filling in gaps with explanations. That is where many innocent people unintentionally hurt their own position, because they assume they must explain everything immediately to clear things up. But legal situations are not exams where talking more guarantees a better outcome. Sometimes talking more creates more points that can be misinterpreted. Now let's address a major myth. A lot of people believe asking for a lawyer makes them look guilty. This is false. Legal counsel is a constitutional right. It exists for everyone, not just guilty individuals. In fact, attorneys are often used by innocent people precisely to avoid misunderstandings during stressful questioning. But here is the real issue. In the moment, people feel pressure. They want to cooperate. They want to appear honest. So they keep talking instead of slowing down. And that is where mistakes begin. Now, I want you to picture another scenario. You are stopped late at night. The officer asks several rapid questions. You feel rushed. You want to be respectful, so you answer quickly. You try to be helpful. But speed replaces clarity, and clarity is what protects you in stressful situations. Because once words are spoken, they can be written down, interpreted, and reviewed later, in a very different setting than the moment they were said. Now let's answer the main question directly. Can police legally lie during investigations? In many situations, yes. Courts have allowed certain deceptive tactics during questioning. But those tactics are not unlimited. They do not override constitutional protections, and they do not allow fabricated evidence to be used in court as real proof. Every case depends on specific facts, jurisdiction, and context. But you do not need to be a legal expert to understand the practical lesson here. Do not assume every statement is a confirmed fact, and do not feel pressured to respond instantly with long explanations. Silence is legal. Short answers are legal. Taking a moment before speaking is legal. Now, here is something most people never think about. In stressful situations, even honest people can become inconsistent. Memory is not perfect under pressure. Details can shift when someone is nervous. That is not deception. That is human psychology. But in legal settings, inconsistencies can matter. This is why awareness is more important than panic. Not because you should fear law enforcement, but because you should understand how conversations in high-stress environments actually work. Let's make this simple. If you are ever in a situation like this, remember 3 things. Stay calm, say less, think before you respond. That alone prevents most of the mistakes people make. Now let's bring it together. Police may use strategic statements during investigations. Not every statement is guaranteed to be factual in real-time questioning. Innocent people often make the mistake of over-explaining. And your legal rights exist to protect you even when you feel pressured to speak. The goal here is not fear. The goal is awareness. Because the worst time to learn this is during the moment it is happening. It is before it ever happens. Now I want to hear from you. Did you know this before watching? Have you ever been in a traffic stop where you felt pressured to explain too much? Drop your questions in the comments below. I read them and they help decide future videos. If this video gave you value, share it with someone who drives often in California. And if you want more content that breaks down what most people misunderstand about police interactions and legal rights, subscribe now. Because the people who understand this early are the ones who stay calm when it actually matters. And you will thank yourself later for knowing this before you ever need it.